All right, let's get into Jackson Laughlin. Just tell me a little bit about yourself. Like how old are you? Where do you go to school? Um, what? Tell me about your family dynamic.
Definitely.
Um, where are you from? Tell me something that you love.
Sure.
Just kind of give me the bird's eye view of
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah, so I just finished my sophomore year of college. My freshman year, I was at the University of Hawaii, and I transferred back home to KU. So I finished my sophomore year at KU, studying finance there. In terms of family life, my parents have always been great supporters, mom and dad. And then I have a younger sister, her name's Morgan. I think family is probably the biggest thing in my life. Big, big family outside of just like my mom and dad and sister, a bunch of cousins, a bunch of uncles, aunts, grandparents. Seems like we're always doing something, always hanging out. Playing cards, watching Chiefs games together. If there's a game where it's just me, my mom and dad, and my sister watching a Chiefs game, it's like, man, this kind of feels weird. So it's kind of about my family, big family guy for sure.
A lot of extended family in town.
Yeah, mostly. I have a aunt and uncle that live in St. Louis, and then some of my mom's side of the family lives up in Omaha.
Okay.
So.
And what's the age separation of you and your sister?
She is 6.5 years younger.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Very good. And tell me, with that family dynamic, where do you think the roots of that come from? Do you see it on like one side of your family, or is there a grandparent that you feel like it came from, or
Sure.
Obviously you can't see the whole thing where it came from, but who do you think of when you think of like this person created this really good value that it's like a waterfall into me?
Definitely. So my mom's side, she's actually an only child. So a lot of my family that on her side is kind of like her cousins, but I still feel like they're kind of like my cousins too sometimes. But definitely on my dad's side, I mean my grandpa's always been a huge supporter, and if it weren't for him, none of my family would be here. So I remember he'd always come out to my games at 3 and 2. My parents couldn't make it. He'd take me, and then he's just always been around. My Aunt Colleen has also been one of my biggest supporters. She's just I feel like she's sometimes glue to the family.
Nice.
So my dad's the youngest of 6. So I feel like a lot of what I get and a lot of who I am is kind of from him. Very funny guy, very outgoing. Always knows how to draw attention to himself, which I feel like in high school that was kind of me. So I definitely get that from him. But from my mom, I get a lot of my critical and deep thinking. I think she's always been, maybe not having a sibling, maybe I'm not saying she's all alone, but she probably spent a lot more time by herself than my dad did with him having 5 siblings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get a lot of good traits from both sides for sure.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, a lot of people have big families, right? And families around and families that get together. But for a high schooler, college kid, that's not always something that they would say is something that they love, something that they want to be in. That if there's a game on and it's at my house, it doesn't compete with the things that are going on with friends or the things that are going on elsewhere. So it's got to be good to you, right? It's not like you're doing it out of I'm sure there's some little responsibility that you feel to be a part of the family, but I mean it's got to be good to you.
It never feels like that. It's families getting together, and it's sweet, and then sometimes after the main get together, the cousins will go do their own thing, or they'll set up something just on their own. But yeah, it never feels like an obligation to like be
Yeah.
with my family. You know?
Well, what do you think? What do you think is something that like that makes that so good to you, right? Because you do have options. It's not a obligation. Does your sister feel the same way? Do you think?
Oh, no. I feel like she's always like skipping out and like hanging out with friends sometimes.
Yeah.
When we're getting together. So
Yeah. And so she's 6.5 years younger.
so she's just in middle school.
Middle school. So were you plugged in like you are now with family in middle school?
I mean, I feel like I've always been close.
Yeah.
And I mean, it definitely helps that most of my family lives like 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's maybe why it never feels like an obligation. But,
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in like middle school and high school, you obviously like your Friday and nights, you're like, at the games or hanging out with friends. But like Sundays, you're like with family.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is, I think just Sundays are always a great time for family, whether that's like with your immediate family or with your extended family. Like, I feel like it's...
Did they shape that at all? Did your parents say, hey, Sundays are family time, and did that kind of get going
church
as like
helped with that.
framework?
I think it was always like, we're going to church Sunday morning, so it's like, if you have a sleepover Saturday, you better either like get home quick or like don't have a sleepover.
Yeah.
Just because you knew church was on Sunday, but
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, like, just like, and a lot of my family goes to the same church, so we see them there, and then from there it's all right, let's go watch a Chiefs game somewhere. Or,
Yeah. Do you think there's some connection too to like, did the family that comes over, do they have kids that are your age that you enjoyed being around? Or
so with my dad being the youngest, most of my cousins are older than me, and I'm one of two. Like me and my cousin Mike are the only boy cousins. So there's like on paper it wouldn't seem like we'd all be so close. Like there was like a kind of a gap from like when my cousin Michael was born to when I was born in terms of like no boys being born, and so yeah, like on paper it shouldn't work, but I feel like it doesn't bother us.
Yeah, yeah. So there was definitely a little bit of structure around some family time, maybe on Sundays, but still, and it didn't feel like an obligation, but there had to have been like an enjoyment part of it for you that was like, this is fun, or this is meaningful. What is that when you get into that like space of, is it a fun thing? Is it that you have a good time because your dad is a great sense of humor, and like, where is the connection or that sparkle coming from? Because that family could be, I feel like, I've got 5 kids, and so I feel like we have a lot of dynamic.
Right.
I don't know if all those kids would, or if any of the kids would throw that out, and it's a good environment, and there's a good vibe when we do get together, but I'm not sure it's a priority yet, and maybe it is, I don't know. But what makes it a priority? What takes it from, oh, this is my rhythm that I'm just kind of in, to like, I want that, I need that? What do you get out of that?
Maybe it's a feeling of, your grandparents and your parents aren't always going to be around, like your friends your age.
Yeah, so you're sensing that a little bit?
Maybe with like my grandparents,
Yeah.
They're on the older side of 80, so it's like, but they're in good health, and they're still smiles on their face, and I usually see them at least once or twice a week. So I don't know if it was so much about that, more as just like, hey, you're always going to be able to see your friends, maybe.
Yeah.
And families maybe haven't let you down, or are always there to support you, whereas you go through high school, friends change, people
good point.
Can maybe,
there's just like a steadiness there,
sure,
and a dependability.
You know what you're going to get, so
yeah.
Like, you're going to have a good time when you go see family. It's going to be good food, it's going to be laughs, it's going to enjoy whatever we're watching, or playing yard games, or card games, or
if you were stressed at college, overwhelmed, would the family be a place that you'd be like, I just need to get home?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's awesome. What's something going on in the next 12 months that's important to you?
For sure. I got a huge summer trip planned that I've been kind of taking the lead on. I've organized a trip to the Grand Tetons for me and some of my friends that I've just been kind of like, that's been my trip that I want to do for a while now. So I got it organized. So that's late in August. 12 months is broad for sure. I'm trying to think. I'd like to maybe land an internship next summer.
Yeah.
Maybe get out of the normal routine of what I've done the past 3 summers.
Sure.
You know, kind of not necessarily take a risk, but just try something else maybe.
Yeah. So, leading a trip to the Tetons. So this was, when you say leading, what does that mean? Was it you? Were you the one to kind of like facilitate the idea stage and
plan the idea, put the idea into motion? You know, book the campsite, make sure everyone's on board, coordinate like what the costs are going to be.
Awesome.
All sorts of things. Research what we want to do when we get there, so we're not just like sitting around, which I'm sure there won't be any sitting around because we'll be out exploring.
Yeah. Do you pull that planning lever a lot in your in your life?
It's definitely a sense of needing to be in control
of
my situation.
Yeah.
I really don't like to be in a situation where I'm not like, maybe not necessarily the leader, but like I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
So like the main thing, like my friends always say, is like, why are you always offering to drive places? Why do you always want to be the driver? I'm like, because I know we're gonna get there. Like I know, like I know what it's gonna be.
Can you remember when when would you say you first recognized that you were doing that you had this high agency, this ability to see something, plan it, execute,
for sure,
have people participate? Can you
think
of how?
The first one.
Does it feel like a college thing or a high school thing?
Definitely started in high school.
High school?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, really. Why it's so strong. But, I mean, I recognize it all the time. Like, Daniel always called me out on it. He's like, always offering to drive somewhere or do something. I'm like, no, just let me drive. So, I don't know where the first one came from, though, to be honest.
What about when you're not planning something? Do you get uncomfortable if you're along for the ride, or like is there a sense of uneasiness in that place?
Uneasiness, definitely. I think a lot of it is. I mean, it's probably bad to say, but like if it's not like my way, I don't think it's necessarily the best way.
Yeah.
And I could be totally wrong, and I've been proven wrong in that countless of times where I'm like, man, I could have totally planned this better, and then I go and have like one of the best times ever.
Yeah.
So.
How are you? Did that, as you've been planning in high school, was that just coming out of your own intuition on how to plan something, or do you think that did you have some resources where you picked up that skill where you're like, maybe I wasn't in like a class for planning, but I really, from this individual, I saw how this went, or from this experience, I read this book, I listened to this podcast.
For sure.
Well, where do you think that is? There is intuition, there is like a set of personalities and skills that can kind of, naturally have some ability there, but where is that, how is that getting refined from outside Jackson?
Probably sports. I mean, having like outside structure, not only to your like day, but like you're always kind of maybe working towards something. I think that helped me, one step at a time, kind of maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, sports were definitely a big thing. I'm trying to think what else like went along those lines.
What's your favorite part of that planning process? Is it
taking the next step always?
Yeah. So there's the vision, and there's finding out what my resources are, and there's strategy, and there's communication, and there's accountability. Like when you go through those things, does something pop out at you were like, yeah, that's my, circle that one?
I wouldn't say. I mean, accountability is definitely a big one. I feel like I've mastered accountability to where it's not even like I feel like I'm showing it off, or I feel like I'm like, hey, I'm so accountable. It's just like I'm accountable, so I know what the next step is. But I feel like just always taking the next step and feeling like you're in the constant progression of progress is big. I think with basketball, it was always like how can you get quicker, how can you get faster, how can you get stronger, and like there was such structure there that it was always easy to see. We'd be doing the same, workouts, and you'd slowly get better. You'd do the same shooting drills, and first week of practice you may have struggled, but by December, January, February, it's like it's not like I'm sitting here shooting 1,000 shots at one day. It's taking a set number of shots every day. And you can just look back and see that progress. And I think you feel good when you know you're making, like, checking off a box. I think that's a really good feeling.
Yeah. What is it like? So if you're planning something, you're thinking, what I'm hearing is like you're saying, I see this opportunity, right?
Definitely.
I see this opportunity. I believe that I am the one to help us best travel there, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
And so it's a tremendous amount of confidence, but it's also probably there's probably a side of it where it's like, and I'm also not confident in somebody else doing it. What is it that you see mostly that would cause you to be uncomfortable about others? What do they not have yet, or what have you not seen
For sure.
that makes you think, I'm ready for this, and I don't think you are? What is it that people are maybe missing or that you're not seeing?
For sure. Maybe it's like, if there's a like a graph of between like going with the flow and feeling structured.
Yeah.
I feel like I've have a good part of me to where I'm like kind of right in the middle. And if you have someone who's so structured, it's like, now how am I going to enjoy this trip?
Yeah.
And if you have someone like who's nothing with go with the flow, it's like, am I going to survive this trip? So I think and like the people who I really want to go on this trip and who I've invited and who I've set up, I think there's a lot of structure and there's a lot of go with the flow. And I think, and a lot of them I've grown up with, so you know what you're going to get, and I enjoy every single one of them. And I think they know that, like, if it needs to get done and if it needs to be set up and properly planned, I'd probably be the one to do it.
Yeah. So you've already established yourself, like from an identity standpoint. It's not just something that you know, but others know it about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right on. It's awesome. So, what's a critical part of your daily routine where you're like, hey, if I'm gonna have a good day, I need this piece?
For sure. I think it's like feeling active. Like there's like, and I'm not even like a structured guy. Like I don't have a morning routine. I don't have like right now I work where I'm waiting tables, but I'm also like doing landscaping and mowing lawn. So like I can like plan my day, but that doesn't mean I have like a set routine. So it's just that feeling of being active, I think.
Yeah.
Getting a sweat, which I'm sitting out here sweating my rear end off, so maybe that's all it takes. But
it's warm out here.
It is.
I need a fan.
But yeah, I think just like
thanks for putting up with it.
That's all right. It's just that feeling of being active. And just so being active helps your mind, helps whatever.
Yeah.
Growing up in sports, I mean, you could go ask any of your kids, like, how many days of the summer did you not do anything? And
right.
It's like 1 or 2 maybe.
Yeah.
And it's kind of how it's always been, and maybe I'm not like playing sports or I'm not mowing the lawn, but I'm getting a workout in. Or
you know what it feels like to be active and to achieve. You know what it feels like to not be active or not achieve.
And
you'd rather most of the time be in that active achievement
and there's
place.
Millions of people who could sit at a computer and be the most efficient person. And,
sure.
Program a website or design an app or
it's active.
People make
and
billions of dollars from sitting on their sitting down and on their computer all day, whereas I don't think I could ever.
You like the physical part, the mental and physical.
Definitely.
Yeah. So sitting at a desk 8 hours a day doesn't feel like the right kind of active to you.
Yeah, and maybe that's like also with sports is, maybe you went to school and you were like, man, did I really learn anything at school today? But then you got to basketball practice, like, I feel like I had really good practice. Like, forget about the 7 hours you may have wasted sitting on your phone in class. Like, So
active is even just a way for you to feel rest.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
I feel a better kind of rest sometimes when I'm active.
Definitely.
And so, what do you feel good in when you're not active? What kind of rest is good for Jackson?
I think, and it's probably not like the rest itself is good, but it's like maybe I'm like so physically exhausted that I know I can't do anything today.
Yeah.
That I know, like, in order for me to like be like ready to go the next week, I have to take a day off.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like force.
What's that look like? Not the sleeping part, but when you're just chilling.
For sure.
What are you doing to chill that feels it feels right. It feels good. It feels healthy to you. It might not be I'm doing 8 hours of gaming, but a little time doing that, a little time reading or journaling or studying something. What kind of chill stuff feels good to you?
I mean, I got like a plethora of like YouTube videos I like to watch.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people like to scroll TikTok.
Yep.
But I mean, even if you're resting, you can be like, man, I'm just like scroll for an hour.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of it also depends on like, if you sleep in and you like, if you start your day with like a good breakfast, then you can like kind of, no matter if you're moving or not, like you're feeling like the day's not wasted.
Yeah, a good start.
Yeah.
So what are you proud of in your story? I know you're proud of a lot, but like if something that just kind of pops out to you that you'd put a spotlight on.
I feel like just how much I've accomplished, really. And not to say like people would like tell you can't accomplish things, but that people may make comments about like maybe like slight comments, and you're like, I just kind of like don't like that, and I want to kind of prove them wrong and also accomplish a lot of things. So, like, I worked really hard in high school just to make the basketball team, and a lot of people would look at it and say, oh, but you never played. And I'm like, yeah, but that maybe necessarily wasn't my goal. Maybe the goal was to get to a level where I'm around some of my best friends every day, and I'm participating in something that makes me feel good. And
so your activity sometimes comes out of like, I need to do something today. I've got this kind of menu in my head of things that I could do.
Sure.
I could go mow this lawn. I could go get a workout. But some of it is very goal oriented. I see this thing.
Definitely.
So tell me about a goal that is on your mind right now.
I got a big one. I'm a big like collector of sports cards, and I've like kind of like gathered some nicer pieces, but I've always like LeBron's my favorite athlete, so I've always wanted like a Topps Chrome rookie, like PSA 10 of him, and they're pretty pricey, but like I know I can get it, like, and I know I can save up this summer, and I'm like well above pace right now.
Awesome.
To get that, and that's like been on my mind for a while.
Yeah.
Just getting that.
Will that be a collector's piece for you, or will that be
that thing will never leave my side, really. That thing will be, and I look at it as like, so many people like work out to save to go on a great vacation, and that's awesome. I've taken so many great vacations, and they're so great. But like, I feel like this is something like you can look at. Like, man, I remember the 98-degree yard I mowed to get 0.5% of this cost. Like, I know the days that I stacked, and I think it's also just a great investment. I don't think it's gonna go down in value anytime soon.
So that's interesting. I hear about younger adults doing like cards as like a business, like the buy-sell thing.
For sure.
I don't know that I've ever heard a young adult say, I'm going to go spend a lot of time to make a lot of money, to invest in this card, to just know that I have it, to look at it, to find fulfillment in having this card.
For sure.
And then you mentioned there's this part of knowing the work you did to get it, but the value is it's a very like intrinsic thing. I mean, there'll be other people that'll walk into your house or your room and say, wow, that's cool, but that won't be often, right?
Yeah, and people ask, well, how much is it worth? And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what I paid, but how am I going to describe to you how much it's worth to me? You know? Like some of my favorite athletes, they have cards. It's like, man, that's $2. Why do you have it like right in the front of your case? I'm like, because he was like an awesome player, and I really like watching him play.
Yeah.
So
it has a lot to do with like nostalgia.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think one of the big ones, and it's probably like it's literally like a 50-cent card, but it's a card from Mahomes. When they beat the Texans in that playoff game, it was like they made a card like with the score on it, and like you could go on eBay and buy it for 50 cents. And I remember like seeing that card like a year later, and I'm thinking this is like the coolest thing, because that was like the first like Chiefs game I remember being at. Like I went to that game, and I like remember the whole game, and I remember Daniel and Luke and my dad like just being there. And now it's been 6 years, but I could like look at the card and it tells a story.
Yeah, it just
helps hold on to memories too.
Yeah, and that memory definitely brings back an energy with it, right? Like whether it's a peace or a joy or a delight, it can do something, like artwork or
cars. Cars are big for people.
Yeah. You collect. So would you say you're sentimental in a, like do you?
I'm a sentimental guy who also like is never going to pass up an opportunity to make some money. Like if I see like a cool, like I remember early this summer I bought.
This can be sentimental and it's not going to lose value if I ever need to.
Or you can flip it and be like, man, you take a picture of it, like, and those are cool cards, but you can turn around and make a couple $100.
Yeah. Do you remember the first card that you bought?
So my dad gave me a binder of his stuff, and you're thinking like, man, all these great players like Charles Barkley. I remember he had so many of those, and then like you don't really like remember like if these are worth anything, and then you like mom will buy you a pack of baseball cards from Target or something, and you stick it in a binder. But I don't remember the first like specific card, but I remember I bought this ginormous collection like from a garage sale, and I turned it around and sold on eBay for like over $1,000. So I'm like, man, that's like, I didn't even go through this stuff. Like, it didn't take me that much work, and I just, a 16-year-old who just got $1,000 from like selling cards on eBay. So I always like thought like, maybe like who needs college? You can do this. But once you start understanding and like, you watch certain athletes, like right now Bobby Witt is like, he's the guy. He's the guy that you want to collect for me. It's a change in from, man, how much can I like money can I make, and rather than like how many memories, how much can you hold?
Does the card process, like for you, does it usually start with a vision part, like, or an experience, like I am experiencing this athlete, I had a memory at this game, I'm going to go find that card? Or just sometimes are you going through cards that are, from 20 years ago or 30 years ago where you're just like, this card means something to me? I mean, it might be a value thing,
Right, yeah.
but do you stumble upon cards that you're like, this is a sweet, meaningful card?
Sure, yeah, sometimes, definitely.
Huh.
And a lot of the time it's like, maybe you're just like looking on eBay and you're like, I didn't even know they made that card, and that's like super cool, so you buy it. But yeah, it's a lot of that for sure. You can go through and look at them, and like I said with like this LeBron card, like I'm working really hard to get it, and a lot of the cards I already have, like I know like the process in which I acquired.
I mean, there's so many things that you've already said just in a short time that you have a lot of achievement in, and it's vast. So, and any one of them you could just go into a rabbit hole on,
Definitely.
right? You've got finance, you've got just physical activity, you've got lawn mowing, you've got serving at the restaurant, card collection, traveling,
Definitely.
Hawaii.
I haven't even gotten into Hawaii. That's a whole other.
But how do you what is going on in your head are all these things that you feel like you're pressing into further, or when you pick up something, do you let go of something, and how are you deciding how to spend time and energy? Because I know that, oftentimes with an achievement-based, ambitious person, you can get so much going.
Definitely.
You're spinning so many plates, and then it's like, well, if that ends up kind of robbing your energy or your spirit, you got to figure out, what do I have capacity for? Like, you can only do so much organization of your time and energy to just go, okay, I'm out. I'm not spending enough time with my family, and right. How are you? Is it right now? Does it feel like it's in balance? Does it ever feel like it's out of balance? And what kind of?
It always feels like it's out of balance.
Yeah.
Like it's always feel like, okay, what's next? What can I do tomorrow? What can I do?
Yeah.
Like, an example is like there was a day where I was like out all day working, and I finally got home, just had dinner, and my neighbor texted me. He's like, "Yeah, I got all this stuff. Can you come haul it off?" And like, I think I felt exhaustion. I think my body was like, don't get up, but like, I sprung off that couch. Like I don't know how. It's definitely a lot of.
You have to be careful of it.
I don't even think I'm conscious of it. I think it's always a what's next thing.
Yeah.
Which is good, but there's a lot of damage that can be done. There's a lot of, you can lose sight of what's actually important a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times I just get focused on like the money or the dollars amount or like what I'm making, and it's not like, but you can take a Thursday or a Friday off and like be with friends, or like not have to like constantly feel like you're needing to achieve what's next.
Yeah.
But
do you reflect often? Do you stop and just go, okay, this is a lot.
But I don't change, I think.
Okay.
I think I'm like, I think I just tell myself maybe that's who I am sometimes.
Yeah.
And like I think that like, I view that I'm pretty successful person. So sometimes I don't feel like a lot needs to change, and then other times you'll have moments where it's like, man, what are you doing? Like.
So where do you think it ends up? Do you think it ends up in a place where you're going to have to be more focused on less things, or do you think it's going to end up in a place where you're going to need to create a system where there can be a lot of newness, like space for newness, space for pivots? Like, where do you see it? Where do you, as you've practiced it for a while, and it's only growing?
Yeah.
Are you going to? Do you see it getting more focused, or do you see it having to figure out, how do I create a way to make pivots without hurting myself or
I think
others? Or
like honestly, I think it's gonna probably come like crashing down, and
Yeah.
like I'm gonna probably like just blow up. Like, have to like completely change.
Yeah.
And I think that's like it's easy to say that that's gonna happen. And it's easy to like say like, okay, it needs a change, but like, you know, I've tried to like cool it down, but how do you stop the immediate feeling of chasing what's next or chasing like a big goal with also thinking like slow it down over the long term, like
Yeah.
it'll be more helpful.
What are you getting? Maybe it's unconscious, maybe it's conscious. You've already mentioned a few things. Like there's definitely a financial gain component.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a just pure achievement, checking a box, right? Another thing that I did that felt good. I don't even know if it made me more money or cost me something
That's
too much.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
that's it right there.
yeah.
It's not
like holistically evaluated within the whole.
right. I think it's a lot of it is, man, I just achieved that. I just did that. And
Yeah.
a lot of the time it comes with a financial benefit or a financial gain, but it's never, I don't feel like I'm doing anything ever for the money. I feel like but it's hard to like not realize or
Does
not
it-
like think that you are.
Right.
Like there'll be days where it's like, okay, I just mowed 12 yards, and like for a 20-year-old when you're getting paid for 12 yards in one day, it's like, well, that's kind of impressive. But
Yeah.
to me, what's more impressive is that like I planned out the exact route that makes more sense.
Logistics.
Exactly. That's like what I feel like I take more out of it, you know.
So if you take out all of it and just picked one thing, say it's the baseball card, the sports cards, you're not mowing, you're not doing restaurant, you're not doing, some of the other things that you've named. Imagine yourself like, I am trading, buying, selling, going and looking and researching, I'm networking, right? A lot of variety within the practice.
Right.
But in that, what is coming in on the outside saying, no, do this, mow lawns too, go work here, go do the neighbor's dumpster, go,
Right.
like, what is it that you might sense that is causing you to switch gears so much?
For sure.
Do you feel like, as you reflect on that, do you feel like there is something that you gain doing that, or do you think, no, as I assess it, it does all feel similar. It feels like a similar level of fulfillment, and I'm just doing it one way right now, but the other way feels just as fulfilling. Or is
Sure.
or is something missing there?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a big one there. I feel like a lot of people could like in high school and sports could like get away with just like maybe going to practice or just like doing what's asked of them, right? And maybe in a job sense that's you show up every day 9 to 5 and you do your job. Whereas like I don't think I'll be able to like if I have a 9 to 5 job, come 6 o'clock, hey, if I need to mow 3 lawns, like I feel like I would still do that. And I feel like that comes from like sports where like I was doing all the right like training things, like showing up to what the coaches were asking, and then on top of that I was like doing stuff on the side, and like and again like it was never to be like, oh, I'm chasing after like first team. Like I always knew that was never realistic. Like I knew I had limitations. I knew what was like realistic, but it was always like, but I can like push what's possible. I can like show up and like.
You think achievement's bigger or financial gain?
Achievements. I think if someone were to hand me $1 million a year, which they fantasy world, but like here's $1 million a year, like you can do whatever. I would think I would still like love to like spend all day outside working, and like I wouldn't even if I didn't even make money from doing the lawns or the restaurant. Like I feel like, if I had that security blanket of $1 million a year, I would still like feel like I would like be so productive.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear people like winning the lottery and like blow all the money and become like lazy. Like I don't think I would.
Is there a fear in it somewhere? Is there a fear of
I think I just
not achieving?
If you're asking if I'm scared of failure,
or not failure, because I think in every endeavor you're going to fail some. You're going to buy a bad card or whatever. But
absolutely.
Is there a fear of, like, is there an identity thing that's like, I get so much value from achievement, which I'm there too.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like, what is underneath that? Have you ever just gone, I know this is how I'm wired and this is what I'm doing. It's either this is like a nature or nurture thing. Something's happening here where I'm evolving as a really ambitious overachiever.
Yeah.
Why is that true?
I wish I could like pull back and see.
Yeah.
Like I definitely, like you said, recognize it.
Yeah.
And I definitely like know I'm tied to it, but I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. I look at certain people, certain individuals, and be like, man, like, get off your ass and do something. And it's like, I don't know why I think like that or wired like that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's interesting. I can relate. All right, let's talk Hawaii, because I mentioned it earlier, and I know that's definitely a place that I wanted to go. High achievement,
definitely,
big vision, big plans, big execution,
for sure,
wild at heart, courage.
Yeah,
like just very impressive, right? So tell me, just like back up. Tell me the story of Hawaii from the very beginning.
For sure. Well, I have to like every time someone asks me about it, like I have to preface it and say like it would not be possible without my parents, but at the same time like I worked my ass off to get there for a year. Like I know what I did to get there.
Yeah.
And I know what I did to like as soon as I thought of it, I'm like, man, I can keep thinking about going there, or I can like shut up and make it happen. So I remember like my parents took me on a trip to Maui. So I went to Maui with my grandma right after she got dementia. So we were like, my mom and I took her and we were like, okay, this is hopefully like maybe like one of the last memories she can like hold on to, before it can start going downhill. And then I went back the summer before my junior year, I think. No, summer before my senior year, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this would be a great place to live. Like that was like the initial thought. Like this would be a great place to live. And then
because of what?
It's just Hawaii. Like
like just because of were you feeling something? Like was it the outdoors,
I think it was the
ocean,
outdoors,
the mountains,
It was both ocean and mountains right there,
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, and I'll get into it in a little bit, the feeling of Hawaii itself. But I just thought, like, man, this is like paradise. Like, this would be a great place to live for a year.
Yeah.
And I think I always knew going in that it was going to be a year that, like, 1 year, and then I go home just because, like, we've established, like, great family system back home. Like, I don't want to be away from that. Like, it wasn't the most, like, maybe, like, smartest financial decision for me and my parents to pay a lot of money when, KU's right there, and it's a great school and great systems, but I developed the feeling of wanting to go there, and I remember, like, not telling my parents, like, that I applied. Like, I applied pretty early, and I got in, which, it's not even a good school, so, like, everyone gets in. But I was like, I gotta tell them, like, it's like, I want to do this. So I told them, and they're like, because, like, I've grown up a KU fan, and everyone's like, just love KU, and they're like, well, this is, like, that you're going to KU. It's like, yeah, KU will always be there, but, like, I told them, I said, the regret that I would have for going, I don't think would ever equal the regret. Like, if I went to Hawaii and had, like, the worst experience of my life, I don't think it would equal the regret that I would have, like, living with myself knowing that I could have done it and I didn't.
So was it more of a, and I know you're going to get into this, so maybe you'll want to come back to this, but just at a high level, was it more of a feeling that you had when you went there that made you feel I need to be here, or was it more of a, here are some practical thoughts about why I want to be here? I have, it's just like, this is magic, and it kind of felt like that, or was it has this, and this, and that's what I...
Yeah, so I think it started off as, man, it has the ocean, it has the mountains, it has the lifestyle, the perfect weather, it had all those things. And, you're on vacation, so that's all you're thinking of is like, man, look at, this is like, this is life, right? Who wouldn't want this?
It's a virtual reality for a little bit there, yeah.
But I think it turned into like, I gotta get away. Like, I gotta get there.
Yeah.
Like, I have to, like, get there and, like, reset some things. I have to get there and take some time.
Yeah.
Like,
just the magic of it.
Right.
You were going there because of the adventure of it. You were going there because of the unplugging and resetting. Like, those were the objectives.
Yeah. And the ability to, like, be really on your own.
Yeah. So what did you get out of it? Did you get out
Everything
of it
that I
those
needed.
things?
Everything that I needed. I came back and, like, I probably still overworked myself. And, everyone has their, emotions run high. But, like, I don't snap at people. I don't, like, cuss people out anymore. I don't, like, want to, like, I know, like, that summer, like, the feeling of just, like, wanting to physically fight everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where it came from. But, like, now I don't have that.
Did it come from who Jackson was before he planned Hawaii, or did it come after Jackson bit off a giant project and had a lot of stress socially?
It probably was more the second one.
Okay, so
like, I like to think that, like, junior year, like, I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
And I'd always kind of been like...
But you knew you wanted to go to Hawaii to reset before you became more negative towards, some of the people that you were hanging around, or more, not even negative, but just more confrontational, right?
Yeah.
You knew that you wanted to go to Hawaii to reset before that happened, so what did you want to reset before that happened?
Maybe just, like, figuring out what I actually want to do in life.
Yeah.
And I really still don't know what I want to do in life. But, like, I feel like just having that feeling of truly being on your own, I felt like would have helped me. And it, maybe I didn't fully get that part out of it, but I feel like I got so much more of what I maybe actually needed. Like, at 19, I probably didn't need to figure out what I wanted to do for my life, but also at 19, I probably needed to learn how to control my emotions and learn how to talk to people and learn how to not have the feeling where you want to punch someone in the face because they say something, like, probably so minor, but like, you think it's...
Yeah, there were seeds of that maybe already planted in you, but that really grew in that
For sure.
I'm going to Hawaii time frame.
For sure.
And what did Hawaii itself give you that Montana wouldn't have given you? Well, tell me about, like, the magic part.
Yeah.
Tell me about the spiritual part. Tell me about the nature, the culture.
The culture is big.
Tell me about that.
So I remember, like, getting there, and when you go on vacation for Hawaii, you're surrounded by a lot of people who maybe, like, come from the same background or look like you, but, like, when you go there for college and you are rooming with people and living with people who have grown up there, and you, like,
mostly
how
Hawaiian.
they grew up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say about 70% of my floor was, like, either native-born Hawaiian or had a parent that was from Hawaii, and a lot of them, like, lived, and I was in the honors program there, so I lived with a lot of the honors, like I lived on the honors floor, so all the kids there were like, they were smart kids, and a lot of them were like nursing students that were like from Hawaii. So it was definitely I wouldn't say a culture shock, but it was like, because I wasn't shocked by it, but I was just like, this is a whole new culture.
It's different.
Like I wasn't like, yeah, like that, growing up in Kansas, and I think that's like that in of itself presented some challenges, but I think over the course of living there, like I worked out, like, some of my best friends, like, I still talk to, like, are from Hawaii, and, like, I understand, like, talk to them about high school and talk to them about how they grew up and, like, how much different it is.
So the culture part was magic.
Definitely.
How was it that way? Was it that they had different, was it their perspective? Was it their personality? Was it their traditions?
I think, traditions were a big one.
Tell me about one.
Like, I think it was, I really learned that, like family's really big there. Like, they call it the ohana. Like, that's, like, for some people, that's all they have. And I think I related to that a lot. Not that I only had family, but, like, I really, like, held on to that.
Yeah. Just really anchored that in you, reminded you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was, like, you don't want to go there, or you don't want to go anywhere and, like, look for differences and look for how you're different. You want to find ways that you relate to people. And I feel like I was doing a good job of, like, relating to maybe people who don't look like me, or people who didn't grow up like me, or, like, whatever, like, differences that were there. I, like, never, like, pointed them out or, like, try to, like, highlight them. I always try to, like, find out how we're similar and what we can connect with. Like, my roommate had never picked up a sport in his life, and he was a big gamer, but, like, we connected and had some great conversations about, like, what, like, we enjoy, and like, used to, like, take these electric scooters and just go around the island, and, like, I didn't look like him, I didn't act like him, I didn't talk like him, but it didn't really matter,
Yeah. So what do you how many strong friendships did you take from that?
At least 5.
Yeah.
At least 5, for sure. Like, 5 that I could, call and have an hour-long conversation right now.
Are there any ways that you do life differently because of Hawaii? Traditions, practices, just memories that you reflect on that just really
I don't know if I, like, do life differently, but I really still, like, my big thing is just, like, try to, like, connect with someone on similarities.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I did a good job of that. Like, kind of like when your, like, social life depends on your ability to connect with someone and your friendship, like, your ability to create friendships going into college kind of maybe depends on that first initial connection. I think that's definitely important to me.
So if you have a friend that's in the same place where they're wanting to reset and unplug, would you say go to Hawaii, or would you give them different advice? Would you say go for a year? Would you say go for 3 months?
I think I was very, very privileged and very, like, lucky that I had the structure and that, like, I was still going to class. I wasn't just, at the end of the day, you're a college student, like, you're going to learn.
Yeah.
So that was like, really, I guess, lucky that I had that structure, because, you tell someone now to go live in Hawaii, and you're like, where do I even begin?
Yeah.
So I kind of used the structure of school.
So find some structure where you go.
Find some structure, set up some structure, and then, I didn't know anyone. I did not know a single person when I moved there, and I think probably that's why my parents were, like, the most uneasy about it. Like, they probably knew that I was, like, smart enough and strong enough to live on my own, but it was like, man, are you just gonna, like, not make any friends and hate it, or, like, are you gonna make something out of it? So I think, just, you can take a leap of faith. That's what I would say. Like, maybe it's not something as extreme as that. Maybe it's, hey, go to a country or go on a trip where you don't speak the same language or you don't look like anyone, and just like try to make the most of it, you know?
So the by yourself part, was that a big element?
Yeah, I loved being by myself.
So you'd say go alone, go to structure, have something that anchors you.
Yeah.
And maybe you go for a shorter time, maybe you don't go as far, but those are two pieces. Know what you want out of it. Did you do much reflection time there?
Absolutely.
And how did you do that? Is that like, was there a place that you would go to?
Yeah.
Was there a tool that you used?
I think
a
that
rhythm?
a lot of people can reflect a lot by just like sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's, and it's easy to say,
Yeah.
but like I remember I would go there and I would just like sit and think, and I would play a lot of things back. I would play a lot of instances back where I'm like, man, what are you doing? And like I think a lot of that was healthy, but I also developed a way of like, I think something I struggle with now is I developed like the ability to think back and like think how you made other people feel, or think like of the actions you did. Like say like 5 years ago, like I did something like really like maybe inappropriate, or like I did something bad, and like maybe the person that I did it to completely forgot about it, but I think I developed like I wouldn't even call it a skill. I just developed the habit of like thinking back on it and like replaying it, and that kind of like ate at me. So like there was a lot of growth, and maybe like I overgrew in that way, where I was like I think back a lot on my past mistakes, and I kind of replay them a lot.
Yeah.
I think like, man, like does that person still think about that? Does
Yeah.
that person still remember what you said, or like the actions, or like you being a complete idiot?
Did you do anything with any of those reflections? Did you think of somebody and think, oh, I want to connect with them, or I want to have a conversation?
You know, the one I remember, like, and it was more of like the bridge I burnt and I rekindled it, was like I got really mad at my friend Grace that one night, and like I like probably told her to like F off like maybe 10 or 20 times.
Yeah.
And I didn't like think of it really. I didn't like communicate to her. I didn't talk to any like about it with anyone. And then I think just one day, like one of us just reached out, and then like I think we both just like accepted that happened, and like okay, it happened, so we can move on. But that was the main one that I remembered. But like I don't know, I think it's hard to like go to someone and be like, hey, I've been thinking of this exact thing I did 4 years ago. Do you even remember it?
Right.
Because maybe I've like just like remembered it so vividly,
Sure.
and they didn't even, and they'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, what?
Did you come back more confident in yourself?
I mean, I've always felt confident in myself. I've always felt like.
Did you come back not worrying so much about what people might be thinking about you?
For sure, yeah. I think that was big. That like, I went and I was like always thinking, oh, what are people like? Are people thinking about me? Or people like wondering what I'm doing? And like, I think I came back and be like, man, I don't care what this person's doing with their night. Why should they care what I'm doing? You know?
Yeah.
Like, so there was.
How'd you manage your phone when you were there? Like, you can go almost anywhere that has magic and reset and still have this device that just like consumes. Did you do anything intentional there to?
Not in terms of like deleting anything or anything.
Yeah. Or did you go to the beach without your phone?
Yeah, I did that a lot.
Yeah.
I maybe like took a book with me, but also like, and I know I intentionally did that, but also I was like thinking, man, what if I get robbed?
Yeah.
I just had to have the phone in terms of like
safety.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, let me leave my phone so I'm not like on social media.
Sure.
It was like, I felt like I did a good job of like being able to go and like put my phone down.
Yeah.
Or like just like have it there for safety. But I definitely did like leave it places, or like I would like just listen to music and not be on it.
Yeah.
A big thing, like I was able to listen to like the sports talk radio show from Kansas City, like through an app there. So like I would do that a lot, just like feel like connected to home a little bit, and you know, you're keeping up with sports and keeping up with your athletes and everything.
How much did you evaluate the cost before you went there? Not the financial part, but because that's
Yeah.
you're obviously financially minded,
Right.
so I see that that's part of your assessment. But how much did you not just feel something like, oh yeah, it's going to be a different culture, but how much did you go into like, what is the cost going to be being away from everything I know, everybody that I know? What's the cost going to be of going out here and feeling this imposter syndrome? What's the cost of going out here and losing a year of momentum with X, Y, and Z?
Sure.
Do you analyze the cost much outside of the numbers when you're going to make a big decision? Or is that something that, to me, it seems like you get a vision, you get really equipped and excited, and you go.
Mm-hmm.
But you tell me, how much do you feel like you're looking at the whole picture before you make these big moves?
Yeah, so I think that, like, you can definitely get tunnel vision, and maybe you're not, like, actively, like, thinking of things or, like, trying, like, remembering things. But I don't think I ever, like, and to this day, I like, the only cost that I have that I associate it is the financial cost.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I gained so much.
Yeah.
And I, like, maybe I didn't, like, refine myself, but I, like, found maybe, like, the better version of myself there that, like, had I lost something by being there, I don't really ever think of that.
Yeah.
I think I just, like, yeah, it wasn't, like, maybe the smartest financial cost, but that's, like, the only cost I had associated with it.
And when you came back, when you would say, if you were to say, I went there to reset, and this is how I reset. This one, like, there might be a bunch of ways, but what's something that is the main thing that was given to you out of that experience?
I feel like one I can point to a lot is that, like, I don't yell, like, really a lot anymore. And maybe I do, but I don't, like, I definitely don't do it as much, and I don't, like, if I do yell, I feel like I instantly know, okay, you need to calm down. Whereas before that, I was yelling, okay, now we're just burnt this bridge.
Yeah.
Now we're just fighting. Like, now, like, before that, like, I feel like
So if you call that,
like, I was so up in someone's face that, like, it would escalate so quickly, and now I feel like if it even gets to that point where I'm up in someone's face, I have now the ability to step back and be like, hey, I'm sorry, that was not cool, that was... Like,
so is it fair to say the yelling was fueled by anger? Or was it fueled by some other emotion?
I'm sure
disgust,
anger,
fear.
Wanting to prove people wrong was definitely a big one.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'd always been behind the 8 ball, or, like, had, not like dealt the worst hand, but I always had to, like, do a little bit more just to, like, be in the position of my peers, or, like, you know, with sports, you know, I was shorter than everyone on the basketball court, so I had to, like, find other ways to play. Like, I think it was a lot like proving people wrong, and to be honest, I really enjoyed, like, once I did prove you wrong, like, letting you know that I proved you wrong, like, up in your face, like, man, you just doubted me, like, look at yourself. Man. Yeah. And I used it as a tactic of, you know,
that's how you would yell. Yeah. So how are you trying to prove somebody, you know, without naming names, how are you trying to prove somebody wrong now in your life?
I think I've really given that up, but I think now I'm struggling with how to not let yourself down, or how to, like, I think that I've always had a competitive spirit, and maybe all throughout high school it was, how do I beat you? How do I get a step ahead of you? And now it's a constant fight with myself. And now it's a constant achieving the next goal, constant, like, hey, you did this, like, so well, but you can't even accept that what you just did. It was but you did what you had to do.
Yeah.
I think a really big example of that is I recently ran a half marathon with one of my closest friends, Daniel, and we both had a goal okay, let's get under an hour and 45 minutes, and I signed up a month before. I did no training. We were just okay, we know how to pace ourselves, and we were doing great. We were ahead of pace. We were all this, and I see the flag that says mile 12. So I'm thinking, man, I got a mile left. We're on pace. Let's push the envelope. Let's see me versus me, who wins? Is it the me that wants to be content with, man, I just achieved the goal I wanted to. I'm a mile away from, we're ahead of pace. I'm a mile away of saying doing what I said, or
Yeah.
it's okay, things change. Let's turn it up a notch. So yeah, the last mile I sprinted that's so far ahead, and I remember crossing the finish line, and anytime you do something with your friends, it's hey, did you beat him? Did you beat him? And it wasn't that I knew I ran ahead of Daniel, but it was never yeah, I just beat Daniel. It was holy shit, I just ran hour 42 when I said I was going to run hour 45.
Yeah.
I felt so much more I feel if I did that senior year of high school, I would have turned around and mocked Daniel as he ran across the finish line, yeah, I just beat you, this, and now I just in turn got so much self recognition and enjoyed man, I not only did I say what I was gonna do, but I pushed the envelope too.
Yeah, yeah. And you might have let yourself down if you had hit your goal.
I think had I crossed with 1:49, 59 and be I feel I could run another mile. I feel but that would suck because I crossed the finish line man, I'm about to throw up. I'm about to I know I gave it everything.
Yeah, yeah. Do you, when you set goals, do you write down?
I'm not a writer down.
Or think through the why? I want to hit an hour 45, or I want to hit whatever that number was, because. Do you fill in that second part?
It's because I know I'm capable of it. Is that
yeah.
the answer? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm.
But then even when you...
But I didn't know I was capable of it. I never ran the longest I've ever run.
But you felt in it, I'm capable of more, and you set another goal.
Right.
Yeah. Is there something that you feel like you're letting yourself down in now, or that you're going to let yourself down in the next 12 months?
I think people are getting to the age where hey, you need to start thinking of your career and thinking what's next. And yeah, I've developed a way to be successful for a 20-year-old, but if there's a 35-year-old dad out there who's providing for his family by mowing lawns and serving tables, obviously there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not sustainable. That's not it's not what I'm going to college for. That's not what the real world is.
Yeah, it's like the run. You can do that, but you can do more.
I know I can be successful doing mowing lawns. I can provide for myself. I can be I guess I wouldn't say financially free because I'm still eating the food that my mom cooks and stuff. But I can not worry about money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm not saying I would feel disappointed in if I didn't get an internship next summer or set something else up, but I feel maybe I would be behind a little bit.
Yeah. How far out can you see an achievement right now for yourself? I mean, the Hawaii thing was a year out.
That was a big one. That was fun.
The internship is now a year out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see anything clear for yourself that you feel like you have a really good hold on that's 2 years out?
I don't know. I do. I don't know if I've ever thought that far.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, everyone thinks, by this age, I'm going to have a house, I want to have kids, I want to, be married. You can like set those things, but like you're not really like thinking of them, if that makes sense. Like you just like say you're gonna do it, but I don't think I've really like sat down and thought maybe like anything out more than 18 months.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting for you to think, you know, your achievement and financials and family are clearly values to you.
Yeah.
They're clearly rooted in you. And I'm sure there are other things that you'd put on that list if you had 5 values that are core to how you make decisions.
Yeah.
So if you had those 3 things, what would be another one that's as big as, you know, family, achievement, financial, maybe even beyond stability, like maybe that's not the word, it's like financial freedom.
Yeah.
Do you have, what's something else that comes to mind is like really core? You have like the active component, like I know that I physically want to be exerting this system.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll just call that, you could call that health, but it's more like physical. There's just like physical activity is something important to you, right? You probably, it doesn't sound like now in your life you'd be very happy or fulfilled if you didn't have that component as a big thing in your day or your week.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
What else needs to be part of that core system that we haven't talked about?
I mean, maybe we've talked about it a little bit, but like how I treat people and then how I'm viewed off that. I think I've really like started like really just trying to treat people and give everyone with respect, and maybe like to say that you do growing up, and maybe you didn't, and I really focus on that. I focus on like just trying to be a nice person.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I would ever say that I was a nice person. Like I did nice things. I thought of people, but like I don't think you would, if you took like outside of my family, like you took like the 20 closest people, I don't know if nice maybe would be a word that is described by them, or that they would use to describe me. But I always like to think that I'm like thinking of people and thinking like looking out for them and something like along those lines for sure.
Yeah.
Big.
As we reflect on a big part of your story, lots of different pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Family, achievement, financial gain, activity, and just like how you are thoughtful for others, how you're caring for others. You know, maybe that's something to just put on a sticky note up on your wall, and just to go, come in and out every day to be like, are those all extremely important things that I want to do something, I want to grow those things in my life. Values change. The list for a high achiever gets too long. It causes this level of like, oh, I've got so much that I value, and I'm investing, if I'm really valuing it, I'm spending money on it, I'm spending time on it, I'm spending effort on it, thought, all those things that then, you know, just having some refinement to that, to just go, okay, well, what are the main things that just keep taking this like center stage in my life, because it can be this really good compass for you. So when you go into, because you invest big, when you go in, you can just reflect on that and say, okay, what is it hitting here? And then you can also look at the flip side and go, okay, what is it costing here?
Right.
In all these categories, so I don't miss one. So I don't just analyze it on the financial side or just on the achievement side, but I'm really looking at it kind of holistically. It doesn't mean that it needs to hit all those things perfectly or evenly, or all of them. It could just be a really nice solid ground, because you're going to continue to make big decisions and big investments.
Yeah.
And some of those you might think differently about if you have that kind of holistic perspective that just quickly pops out at you and you go, no, this one hits here a little bit too hard. I can't see a way to make this one work without it hurting me here, and I don't want to do that right now.
Yeah.
Or I want to figure out a way where that doesn't happen so much. But what I'm seeing in you that where you might get even a greater gain from, because I feel like you have those values are clearly driving you. Like you said, maybe one is not performing as well as you thought, and you're like, oh, I need to make sure I don't lose this. I need to strengthen that muscle that's important to me. And others, you could be like, I'm doing really good here. Like, I don't need to keep pulling the lever so hard on that one, because I do feel like that's in a secure place, a good place. But what I really love is this, just to back up a little bit, maybe it even just like might not say this perfectly, like to match your experience, but what I kind of saw is that maybe that happened a little bit in your I'm going to Hawaii decision. You pulled down on the lever of a couple of those things. You also pulled down on this reset button it did touch that, like, I want to be more thoughtful to people. Like, I need to reset Jackson Laughlin a little bit, because I'm sensing, I'm seeing, I'm experiencing that I'm tanking that one. But then what it did is it created more adversity for you in a couple of those categories.
Yeah.
And so you can look at it and know that it was all worth it. Like, it all came out good. But during that, like, certain time frame, maybe there was a little bit of an earthquake that was, it might have shaped your decision a little bit differently about the whole thing. Not that it looks any different. It could still be Hawaii, and it could still be everything that you did, but it might have just shaped something.
Yeah.
But what I think is really unique about you at a young age is you do have really good vision. Like, you're constantly envisioning things for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not just vision for the day. It's vision for things that are a year out. And and then you're executing things that you have vision for a year out. It's so easy to have vision for something and to not execute it.
Yeah.
A lot of people struggle with, if you counted the number of vision ideas that people have, and then you went over to the other side of the ledger to look at number of those things that were actually executed, I think that there would be a lot of people who would have a lot of great ideas, and years would pass by and they wouldn't have achievement in those things.
For sure.
That life has a flow to it, that it just continues to move you along, and you're like, yep, I didn't get to golf that golf course that I always thought I would with my 4 buddies.
Right.
And now I'm 60 years old, and I've been thinking about that for 20 years.
Yeah, I don't want that.
You know?
That's like probably one of my biggest fears. Like,
it's just
exactly that. Maybe not like a golf course, but like,
right.
Man, I could have done that thing, or I could have.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things I did in life, like, I went skydiving. It's like, when am I ever gonna have this opportunity again?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when am I ever gonna be able to say I did this and look back on the pictures and yeah, just like that. I don't want to be sick one day and be like, man, you could have done X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I want to think about, man, you did X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. You already have this little.
I mean, that scares me too.
Yeah.
That is a fear.
Yeah, me too.
Sure.
Me too. I can relate there for sure. And I think that values list is it's a great accountability tool for you, because I think that what often happens is greatest strengths. I don't know of a time where a greatest strength hasn't also been a person's greatest threat.
Right.
So recognizing your superpower of achievement and really close to it, this like ability to do that financially well, that's a superpower that you have. Yeah. That it's not just that this is important, but you are cranking on it here in the system that you have. Your energy, your thought patterns, your communication, your drive, it's all working very well. But that is going to be your kryptonite if you don't kind of respect it in a way where you're like, that is awesome in me and I'm proud of it, but it can also cause me pain.
Definitely.
In my other values.
Yeah.
So maybe achievement and financial freedom or financial growth are like constantly charging and driving you. And when you're not careful and thoughtful and reflective, it bypasses the other 3 things on your list or 4 things on your list, and you jump in, and then it's later when you realize, oh shit.
I think it's like adrenaline. I think because like the example I'll give is, say like you're in like a super important game and like you roll your ankle. Like you probably feel the pain, but like it goes away instantly. And once you're outside of the game, once you get home, you're like, man, my ankle hurts like hell.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is, man, I'm rolling, man, I'm going. Like, I know it's gonna hurt. Yeah, I know it's gonna crash, but why would I intentionally end it?
Yeah.
Like right now, why would I not like keep going? You know?
Yeah. And there will be times where, if you can operate that superpower so well, from the standpoint of, oh, I see where that's going to be a threat, or that's going to cause pain. I see that ahead of time. I'm not going to change. You know, maybe it's times where you're just like, I'm just going to push pause on that because it's a mighty pain that's about to cause. But I think most times what it should do is just help you shape your vision.
Okay. Because
you're so intentional about the things that you value going into something big.
Yeah.
The other side of that is, or not the other side, but in addition to that, your vision is so good at a young age, you know, planning a year out. I'd really challenge yourself to curate your vision for all those categories.
Right.
Because I think it's coming naturally to you right now when something kind of hits your system and you feel it, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
It's like activated. The planner in you, the leader in you, it's activated, right?
Yeah.
But how do you not have that be always or a reactive thing to the feeling that you had. Oh, I'm on this trip in Hawaii and it sparked something and now I'm executing on plan.
Right.
I was looking at this, Stio magazine or Patagonia magazine, and I flipped to this page of the Tetons. I felt something. It stimulated this vision, which that vision happens like that all the time. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But how do you proactively get ahead and you, from your values, just look at your values and go, I don't have to wait for that stimulation to feel something. I can thoughtfully go out and have like this practice of, I don't know what it is, like once in a while, once in a month, where you're just like, what kind of vision do I have there a year out from now? Where I do that for the how to be thoughtful category.
Right.
Because if it just sits in you as like, I want to be more thoughtful, then it probably won't hit your system enough. It might hit your system when you realize you cause pain.
Right.
You don't want it to hit your system there. You want it to feel adrenaline from something that you envisioned. Right?
Yeah.
That you created from the whole person that you are, that is just creating that out of you, the wholeness of you, not out of the moment that just happened that was hard and you're like, oh, I got to be more thoughtful. I'm going to go do something for this individual, right? That's a reactive response for vision. I think you have that talent. Maybe you just haven't done that exercise with definitely. Those categories. Yeah. And I do think that I think that you would have some fun in that. Maybe it's, you said I don't write anything. Maybe it's just voice recording. Because what happens is when you say it, I think in my experience and when I listen to others talk about it, I don't know psychologically what the evidence is here, but when it moves from like heart feeling to head thought, that's only like 2 stages of really feeling the vision.
Yeah.
I think as part of that, verbalizing it or with yourself, writing it down or saying it out loud to yourself, recording it, I think that's another digestion part of the process where you're like, that feels different to me after I say it or write it. And then another process is telling somebody about it. Hey, here's what I'm thinking.
Absolutely.
And I say it to you, and then that person gets a chance to like be a really good friend, right? You just to say, well, what about this? Or I see that too. Or maybe they expand the vision. Right? They could expand it, they could punch holes in it. But that's like a great shaping activity for you to digest the vision that you felt here and it went to here. And before it just goes action, you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to take a few minutes to like write this down or say it. And tomorrow I'm going to listen to it.
Right.
And then if I'm like still getting energized, I'm going to call Daniel. And I'll be like, hey man, can I talk to you for 30 minutes?
For sure.
I got something I want to share with you. And then you can tell him those things further. And then you get to this place where it just feels like you have this chance to hear yourself differently and see yourself differently in that, because your vision is going to be big.
Mm-hmm.
So be secure in it and shape it well through trusting a little bit of vetting or filtering. And I think what you'll end up seeing is that sometimes you probably I would think that you would reshape a lot in that process. I'd call it 25% of it, I bet, would be reshaped often.
Mm-hmm.
And 25% is a big number. I mean, it's the difference between a C and an A, right?
Yeah.
So, but you would have to first be like, yeah, I think that there might be something there to like try, right? That's for you to take.
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like like going back to like planning the trip, I feel like had I like included everyone in on it, like without me like, you know, like sending information about what we're doing and everything, like I don't know if I would have been like as excited for the trip. And I feel like if I don't know going in, like that this person is like knows what they're talking about, or this person is like excelling, and like I should listen to this person, I then feel like it's my way.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like I can ever like sit down, like tell someone an idea, and I don't think I've ever asked, how can you improve it? How can you? It's either you're gonna tell me something that like I want to listen to you about, like Coach McFall.
Yeah.
Like I would never tell Coach McFall how to run a basketball team.
Yeah.
But like, if I were to like construct a basketball team, like with people that I didn't necessarily think were that level, I probably wouldn't listen to them. I wouldn't do the things that they had suggested.
So
but I knew his system worked.
Yeah. So take the pressure off of perhaps like it's. So I feel that too. I feel like, man, if I share this, my fear is that one, you're not going to like it,
or just
or
like
you're
get
going
the excitement that I get out of it.
Yeah, or get the excitement and get the buy-in. If I just announce it as like, this is what we're doing. I do that with family vacations, and I've had to really grow in that. I've had to say, I used to just like to pull the rabbit out of the hat. This is where we're going. This is where we're staying. This is what we're going to do. And I'm excited to present it to you. And
no, I found myself smiling so big, like texting the group, like, this, like, look where we're going.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone was on board, but like, I don't think some people even knew I was thinking of this trip, or thinking like I thought it was so easy to like say, hey, take a week off of whatever you have going on.
Yeah.
Like, because I knew I was doing that.
Yeah.
I knew I could do that, but I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it feels risky sometimes.
Definitely.
But if you can go, okay, so I'm going to listen to myself there. It feels risky to do this. And part of what you said is trust. I don't know if I want to sit down with this person because I don't know if I trust their vision or trust their advice. So I'd say the first thing is listen to that and go, I'm just going to talk to somebody I trust.
Right, yeah.
Right? I don't need to talk to the whole group.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to talk. I could talk to somebody not even going on the trip.
Yeah.
Find somebody you trust. You don't have to trust all of them, but just be like, trust them, one, to be a good listener.
Definitely.
I'm just going to tell somebody that just will listen to me. Also, you can frame up the conversation different. You can say, hey, I want to tell you something, and right now, I'm not even looking for a whole lot of feedback. I mean, if you have something, that's great. I don't want to shut you down, but I'm really just doing this because I'm just practicing, like, I just want to get it out of my system.
Yeah,
I just want to express
never
it.
tried that,
You'll find an opportunity for that. Like, Mom, I just want to tell you this. I don't even know how sure I am about this, but it feel really good to just like get it out there in this like universe a little bit.
I feel like when I tell maybe my parents something, it's like I tell them when it's happening or when it's when everything's set. So it's not like, hey, I'm thinking of this. Like it's like, well, let me figure it all out and then tell them.
Yeah, and you probably already know people that you'd be like, oh, this person's a really good listener.
Yeah.
Or this person I trust to give me feedback. If you have something where you're like, oh, if I tell this person, I know what they're going to do. They're going to be the Debbie Downer. They're going to get super practical about, what I should be afraid of or what I should, whatever it is that you're like, I can't hear that right now. But then sometimes those people are really good, the critical people. You're like, hey, I want you to be critical. Yeah. Like I'm looking for somebody I'm planning something big here. I want to start this business. I want to buy this card. I want to go on this adventure. I want to leave town. I want to move. Mm-hmm. Those are big things, right? And there has to be this like categorical trust before you even get into like who it is, that there is something really good for you if you share it out loud. Part A. And then this categorical trust, again, not naming, where you're not picking the people, where you're just like, it's really good to get somebody else's feedback. Because I know you've had people in your life where they have unsolicited or solicited, they've given you feedback and it's been helpful. The people you went to in Hawaii, they're your friends you have. They gave you perspective and story and all that, but
Absolutely.
some of them gave you feedback, right? Your
100%.
friends.
I was not perfect. Like, even after I changed, like, some of the emotions, I still had a lot of ignorance, and, I got called out on it. Like, I used to make this joke that, maybe we have to cut this out because it might get canceled, but, like, I used to make this joke because, like, everything in, like, every name in Hawaii, like, has, like, 3 A's in a row or whatever, or, like, 2 E's.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I used to go around and be like, say, like, like on Wheel of Fortune, you spin the wheel and you try to guess the thing, but you have to buy a vowel. It's like, I'm like, damn, everything here is like, I got to buy a vowel to say. And, like, I got so many people to laugh about it, but I also got, like, native-born Hawaiians to be like, what the hell are you saying? Like, that's, like, so wrong. And, like, I thought it was funny. I thought it was, but, like, looking back, like, man, you're an idiot for saying that. You're an idiot for a white guy from Kansas coming saying that around.
They're
like,
probably saying it now too. Like, like it's who you are is being real gets you into the best things in life, because when you put your real self out there and you see somebody that has disgust, or they're afraid of you, or they don't like you, or whatever, it's great. It's just like, great. We know what real is. I was me. You were you. It didn't work.
Yeah.
But if you don't put yourself out there and be Jackson Laughlin, you're also not going to connect to those 4 people or 5 people that you did.
Yeah.
The more you put yourself out there, the more you're going to connect with people that you are meant to connect with.
If I didn't try to, like, find those similarities, like I talked about, like, I may have never changed the ignorances that I had, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, if I never try to connect on a level with someone, maybe I'm still, like, making those jokes, or maybe I'm still doing something a certain way.
Yeah.
But, like, I use that positive aspect that I know I had, and, like, I let the negatives work themselves out based on, having the ability to be called out and, continuing on that friendship.
Totally. Yeah. You gave room for growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that that's probably, like, maybe one of the most special things of all in this, like, idea of sharing your vision. If you share your vision to somebody that you think is right to share it with, it will always be awkward and imperfect because it's a new practice.
Yeah.
Like the first time that I ran, 10 100-yard sprints, I'm like, I felt like a fool out there.
Yeah.
My ankles didn't work the way I wanted to. I was thinking, are people watching me?
Yeah, the first time I tried to guard people in the varsity gym, I fell 3 times. I'm thinking that I'm never going to get a chance to play
It's
here.
just putting myself out there, right? It's that vulnerable place. But now I'm experiencing things that I'm like, man, I kind of feel like an athlete out here. Or I feel like I could maybe race one of my boys and have a chance. And, I get this, like, different kind of feeling, but I never would have had that connection had I not put myself out there.
Yeah.
So we're doing this all the time, but doing that in relationship is just extra special. And what it does is it feeds one of your 5 values, which is, like, caring for people, being thoughtful. That's a part of caring for people and being thoughtful.
Yeah.
When you give them you, full of a fear that I have in this conversation, full of a apprehension, fear of losing control. When I put that out there for you, and then it creates them that, they might say something that challenges you, or they might say something that delights you. You get these things that you wouldn't. It's taking care. It's being thoughtful for that friendship to have an opportunity to go run that 100-yard differently, right? So keep pushing Jackson Laughlin out there, and especially in your values and in vision and achievement and finances, letting them be a part of your story. How many people would love to be like, I mean, who is a great friend to you in that hard journey of, I'm going to Hawaii, to when you went to Hawaii? That there was a hard journey there. Who is just a great friend to you? And I know you felt like you pushed a lot of people away.
I pushed a lot of people away to, like, I don't know if I ever, like, connected on
Yeah.
that maybe like middle ground. Like
Yeah.
I always envision like I'll say like Jackson Stone, him and I like were butting heads a lot. Like I was like ready to end that friendship and like just like never like connect with him again. But like in that middle period, I never went to him to be like, hey, like what do you think of this? It was
Yeah.
always like, okay, before, like we were both trying to figure things out. We were both like trying to figure out what our future held.
Your parents helped you, right?
Yeah, but like once I got back, or once I was even in Hawaii, like nowadays, me and Jackson Stone, if we're 45 minutes apart from college, but if we don't call once a week, it's like something's off,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So like that, I don't know if there was ever a conversation, and maybe he remembers where I came to him and be like, man, what do you think of me doing this? Like, do you think is it going to succeed? And maybe that was just because I had maybe started to burn that bridge,
Yeah.
but I feel like even if I did, it's probably built up stronger now.
Yeah, I mean, imagine kind of take the, going back to the very beginning,
Yeah.
the LeBron James card,
Yeah.
right? So when you look at that, you said, I think of, or the Mahomes card.
Yeah.
I remember my dad, who else was with you?
Luke and Daniel at that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it comes back to you, and that's something that is worth you buying a card for and putting up on a stand because it means so much.
Right.
But nobody in your friend group, it sounds like, has that moment where they have this picture up of you, or they see it on your phone where they're like, or when they're talking to you about Hawaii where they're like, we did that.
Right.
Right? Like, you did it, but like, I was in that with you. I was
Yeah.
at that game.
That's what I'm hoping to gain out of this Teton trip is like, you know, I think something I struggled with a lot was like, man, how I'd be playing pickup basketball and being, man, how great would it be to like have my teammates like playing pickup basketball in Hawaii? Like, what would they think of it? Like, I was thinking like, man, I wish some of my friends could like experience some of the things
Yeah.
I'm experiencing. So like, that's like probably why I'm most excited about this Teton trip is like, man, I get to go on this trip that like we all planned, we all paid for. Like it's us, and we get to look back
Yeah.
in like 10 years, 20 years with all these pictures.
Totally.
And my friend Pierce is going, and he's starting this like he's been starting this YouTube channel like Project P, and I'm like, man, I cannot wait for the video he's gonna produce.
Yeah.
Is he like this star-studded YouTuber? Like, no shame to you, Pierce, if you're watching,
Yeah.
but like he's on his way. But like
Yeah.
I know that regardless of how great the editing is or how like crappy the editing is, it's still the videos of
Yeah.
us on this trip.
Yeah.
It's still the memories that like we're not gonna look back on the video and be like, man, you were so bad at editing. Like we're gonna be about, man, look at us laughing. Like look at us
Yeah.
climbing this mountain.
Yeah, totally.
So like I was able to connect like with the new friends that I made in Hawaii and be like, man, we did that.
Yeah.
But I never had those.
Yeah, there's
Like none of my college friends have ever met high school friends. There's no correlation.
Yeah.
It's always that separation, and maybe that's probably what I needed. Looking back, I needed that break. I needed that separation. But like,
yeah,
would that crossover even work? Would I be able to make those
right.
memories that I made?
Yeah, my sense is that you're a lot, I can relate a lot to this if this is true for you, but we love to do so much work where we're forming vision, we're resourcing, we're planning, then we're communicating, here it is, this is what I'm doing or this is what we're doing, come along, and then we go into that together, and that's a great memory. But I wonder how much you're missing in like, who was my friend in that journey?
Definitely. Like it's
Like who was part of this
It was
with
all
me?
me.
Like where was my partner? And that feels good.
yeah.
It feels good, but it can still be, I think it can feel good plus if you're like, if somebody's just like, yeah, I remember when we went to that park in Kansas City and you told me about this vision.
Definitely.
And, you know, we laughed about it and we kind of wrestled about it and then we hugged about it and, you know, we just said, man, that's going to be an adventure.
Yeah.
And when you're reflecting back on that trip, you're like, man, I had a hard time with some friends, but these two people, man, they were so clutch to me.
Yeah.
Like that gives you into that LeBron James like part of you. Like I want to remember these experiences of people I was with doing great things. And I think that it feels risky to invite them in, but I think you can modify how you invite them in. Go to the people that you do trust. Give them framework for the conversation. Here's what I need from you.
And even it doesn't even have to be like a situation, like a sit down. It could be
Totally.
like, man, you want to go get some food? And
Yeah.
like, just let the conversation happen.
Yeah. And just test it. You're not going to lose control as you're just testing it. You're going to feel it out and go, oh man, that felt like whatever. And but if you continue to invest in that thoughtful, for friends and family way, it's not just doing the achievement for them. That's where your mind might go. How can I financially help them, and how can I mow their lawn, right? Or take them on a trip.
Yeah, like with my friends, like how can I help you like get enough money to like pay for this trip, or how can I like help you like get all the gear? Like that's go to them with the trip as a secure thing. Here's what I want to do and planning to do, excited to do. I've got this one pocket that I'm unsure about. Give them a layup. For sure. Yeah.
Right?
Give them something easy. Definitely.
Give them a layup that's real. It's not like you're testing them. You're saying, I'm pretty sure about 75% of this, but I really want to just like call out this piece.
And
what do you think about
even
that?
Even if I like know what I'm like what I'm
or what you
them
think
for,
you know, right? Like you might not know, but you at least, even if you feel good about something, or like I at least want to invite them into this. I always get something good from that.
Definitely.
It might be that they give you something that takes shape and makes it better. They might say something that takes shape that causes you to have a little bit of adversity, or just for you to express your why. When they punch a hole and you're like, well, let me tell you why I'm doing that. Oh, I see it now, right? And it's just like, I was a partner with you in the biggest adventure of your life.
Yeah.
Or just a friend.
And I got a great example of that. So, like in planning this trip, and I've probably talked to Daniel most about it. And then like he came to me one day. He's like, "Well, what if we did a day trip up to the Yellowstone National Park or Yosemite, whichever one's up there?" And I was like, "No, we can't do that. Like that doesn't fit in." Like I was like instantly rejecting it. And I thought about like, man, why am I so like defensive about it? Like this sounds awesome. Like, go
dude,
see these
I'm with
geysers,
you. I know the feeling.
And I would he could have came with me like the greatest idea. Like, what if we went here and I gave you $1,000? Like, no,
no, you're not going to.
But now I want to do that, not only because like I wanted like experience that like portion of the trip, but I also want to be like, and this is Daniel's idea. Like this was his thought process, and see him get the enjoyment.
Yeah, absolutely. And then don't be afraid to wrestle with them in it.
Yeah.
You know, if they give you an idea, you don't have to be like, oh man, you're really like pulling the rug out from under me. Just be like, well, what are you hoping to get out of that?
For sure.
Well, here's what I'm hoping to get out of it.
He's already gone to the Tetons with his family, so he's probably thinking, man, I've already spent 4 days here. Let's
let me
try
do something different.
New.
Yeah, maybe he says that.
And I didn't even think of that until
like,
I went to him like before the trip because I knew he had been there, but I never thought about, man, he's doing the same trip like over and over.
Yeah. Or throw him a challenge. Be like, dude, I like that, but here's what travel looks like, and here's you know what the temperature's like there, and here's so what do you think about that? Oh, I haven't thought about that yet. Well, maybe we should think about that, and just like give me a call later, right? So you can still just flip the script. Like you're gonna ask, and they're gonna maybe state some vision, and then you get into the like, let me help us shape this, right? So might be an opportunity there, but above all of it, like I would say, I think you can not only name more specific vision for those categories, but I think you can go further out.
Yeah.
Because I think you're so good already at the distance that you're running in your mind that it might be a good time to be like, you know what? I'm running an hour 45 minute pace. I bet I could do an hour 35. So just play with it.
Yeah.
Like play with what does I have family as a value. What does my vision look like in 2028 or 2029 for how I'm growing that value? Just it doesn't, you're not committing to anything. You're just playing with it. And it's
Sure.
like, at first you're like, oh, I don't know,
Right.
you know? And you're like, well,
Because, like, think about if 4 years ago, junior in college, like, had you had told me, hey, in 2 years, you're going to be living in Hawaii, I'd be like, the hell are you talking about? Like, it's so easy to, like, think, like, man, look how far we've come, but, like, also, and you had no idea about it.
Yeah.
You had no idea, so it's hard to, like, think that far in advance because you put, I guess you can put it into perspective, like, I wasn't thinking that far in advance 4 years ago, like where I am now.
And it doesn't have to be it's a creative process, right?
Sure.
If you feel something that catches you while you're driving home on the sports talk or looking out the window or whatever it is, something can catch you.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Catch yourself here with what you know is true about you, right? Go into that and start throwing some paint on the canvas for out there on those things that you haven't even felt yet. You're going to create a feeling. Like, what if this? Why not that? What's a gap that I feel today that could be different out there? What's a adventure out there that I don't know what it is. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But go grab it in your mind with some intentional thought of like, what if? Why not? Throw it out there. Leave the pain up. Leave it. You're not gonna like shape it in that moment. You're gonna throw it up there, and then you're gonna come back to it in your head or on the paper or whatever it is. You're gonna come back, and something's gonna start to speak out of you, out of you, right? Yeah. Being the proactive. Here's where I want to go, not what I just felt today when I went to this place or had this conversation, which is good. You're not leaving that,
right?
But I think you can grab more, and I think it might get you a little bit ahead of this feeling that you're having often, which is like, are you letting yourself down? Or don't let yourself down, right? Because if you're just in the moment, I think of life and running the race and kind of planning on the spot, the last mile of the race, then that's kind of like a hyper acute place to be thinking. But if you can get out there and then start setting milestones backwards on where you might be, and as you hit those milestones, it might change the vision a little bit more. But just, I'd play with further out. Definitely. And I'd play with vision in your values, and just know that you are achieving an incredible amount at a young age, and it's going to feel like enough at times. It's not going to feel like enough at times, but the biggest risk is, what is it doing? What is the threat here? And being so excited in this category. Definitely. If you look at the other side, if you look at the threat, it will help you balance, I think, a little bit.
Like, I was so excited for that achievement in Hawaii, that the caring towards people and wanting them to view me as nice just went out the window. Yeah, totally.
I owned a company, 100% owner of a company for 10 years, 12 years, and I kept launching new things, big achievement guy, but spinning so many plates. And I kept running. The company looked good from the outside. People would be like, oh, you own Front Door Fitness, and that's cool, and what do you guys do? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And so like the story looked cool. Maybe it was like, yeah. But in the inside, man, I was just like, this thing is killing me. Yeah. Like, I am working so hard, and I am not making the money that I need to, and it's just so hard. So like, I got to the point.
Like I wouldn't, if I had my own company, I wouldn't be able to trust anyone to like.
Yeah.
Be
I was doing it all on my own. Nobody knew anything about what's going on. Yeah. And I could tell you 10 stories like this. This is just one. And so I decided I would. I went to Haiti. I got off the grid. Went there. People are like, oh, you on a missions trip? I'm like, nope. I'm just going to get away. Like, are you going to adopt? Nope. I'm going to the place that's most opposite of Johnson County.
Right.
And I'm going there selfishly, and I just need to unplug. So I went there for some reflection, ended up meeting a guy that I didn't know very well. I knew him like, 5 hours worth of conversations. We had nothing to do there. I mean, it was like hot, and you're just like sitting under a tree, like throwing rocks. And it's not like you go do entertainment or whatever. We were at a place that had medical facility and some kids and stuff, but we had a lot of time, and we started talking about Front Door Fitness, and he started telling me about, like, kind of having a conversation about where he was in life, that he had been a president of a company, that he just like stepped down and he was taking some time off. I was like, after the conversation, I was like, I know what I need to do. I need to fire myself at this company, and I need to hire you to be my boss for 2 years. And I did it, and he's like, you're crazy, man. I was like, no, I need it. What you have, and I didn't know this was going to happen, but one of the biggest things he gave me was, he came in, he's like, we need to do some strategic planning. And I was like, sweet, man, let's go. He's like, I want you to get 6 people from the company. We're going to all sit down at a table for 2 hours, talk about the company, think about the company, what's strong, what's weak, what's an opportunity, what's a threat, all that stuff. And then we're going to leave for a week, and then we're going to get together the next week. We're going to meet for 2 hours. And then we're going to leave, and we're going to come back together the next week, and we're going to start to make a plan. I was like, no, we're not. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, all you need is me in a coffee shop. You want to know the vision and where we're going? I'll tell you. He's like, no.
You're fired. Remember, I'm in charge.
He's like, yeah. He's like, that won't get us there. And he told me, he's like, you are going to get so much from this group of people. You don't know it. You're going to just have to trust me. And I felt like a lion in a cage. I did my first meeting with them, and I thought, the whole time I was like, I was cussing in my head, like, these, whatever, like, they have no idea. Why are they even here?
Yeah.
They have no idea. They don't know how to think. They don't know how to plan. They don't know the business. They don't work like I do. I was thinking all of that. Disgusted with the time I was spending and the money I was spending on him. We got out of the meeting, came back to the next meeting, felt the same thing. And I kept thinking, we are so inefficient right now. This is completely wrong. He went through that whole process. We had quarterly strategic planning meetings, put different people like responsible for different things. He started leading out all of this like direction, and the direction that they came back, that we decided on, was like 75% of what I would have said to do, and 25% I was like,
he didn't even think of.
That's pretty good. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
And we all voted. Everybody had their own votes. We all voted equally. It was so painful. Like planning your trip with everybody. But what happened is he was showing me how to be a leader. So that I created this enormous force. Not just Josh force, I'm going to go achieve, I'm going to go work. Because that's one person. Mm-hmm. He was creating that force in others and benefiting the company with their thought and their brain and their work. That's what I do for a living now. I do what he did. I've spent the last 10 years of my career being a COO. So I go into companies that need to do what I didn't want to do. And I build leaders and build the right team. And I am constantly I know where I think we should go, but I'm constantly bringing them in. I'm listening to them. We're getting to a place where I knew at 75%. They added a 25% thing, but they leave and it's theirs.
Right.
And then they do the work. Then they're bought in. Then when we celebrate, they're feeling all this kind of achievement and stuff. And that leadership, for me to know that people are feeling what I felt, what I was so passionate about, that achievement in me, they're all feeling it. And the whole organization is just lifting on something I could never do alone. It is a new form of achievement that's for you.
Yeah.
It's for you, but it will not start if you don't practice it in small ways.
Definitely.
If you don't trust it like I did, and you just go, okay, I'm going to do this, and you're going to learn how to do that better. Like I gave you a couple tips on how to do that, and you had a couple tips of your own.
Yeah.
So it's not going to go perfect, but if you trust that if anything that's big from an achievement standpoint, if you look at Google or, you know, Amazon or high achievement stuff going on, I'm telling you that it wasn't just Bezos or, you know, Sundar, I think is the name of the Google CEO. It wasn't just them like being like, I'm going to do this all myself and pull the rabbit out of the hat, and then you're going to be really excited about it, and we're going to go there and take pictures.
Yeah.
Right? It was all like, I'm going to take what's in me that I'm so good at. I'm going to say it's always 75%. It's never 100% because I need your voice. I need your collaboration. I need your votes. It will be better. I will be better, even if I was doing a sole proprietorship, just one person. But now I'm going to create this force of change and achievement. That's how your achievement will blow the roof off. Yeah. Cool.
That was awesome.
Great job.
Yeah.